Alright, what's up, guys? Happy winter, happy new year. I think it's our second episode of the new year, but I'm Dr. Jaws, and tonight we are going to be talking about the Porbeagle, and I am so excited because apparently there is a Porbeagle playlist on YouTube made by some of the best shark filmmakers on the platform. Dibrem. So what we're going to do tonight is just dive into the footage. It's going to be like a little bit different because we usually just go into like IUCN Red List or Florida Museum of Natural History or whatever, but tonight is going to be just really visual, and I have a lot of different books with me, some of the classics like Sharks of the World and Fishes of the Gulf of Maine, so I'll just probably be parsing through them. See, a couple people are on, so hello, hope you guys are doing well, and things are going on. We got something cool to do tonight. I made myself a cup of Earl Grey tea for Porbeagle night. It's kind of funny. Like, I actually had like pretty Monday, and I wasn't really in the mood. And then hey, I know you. Hey Beth. Thank you for joining the stream. So I actually don't know where this name comes from. So and it's been a little bit short too, because it's let's see. Also, I think this is well, I guess we commented on the stream before, but this is the first comment of, well, not first comment of the new year, but first comment from you in the new year. So this is cool. So hello. How was your Monday? Did you have a good day? Although this is live and everybody can see it, but yeah. And also, I'm just trying to pull up that Porbeagle etymology. I'm actually really curious where the name comes from. So I'm checking Fishes of the Gulf of Maine first. And let's see, because usually this has pretty good notes on certain little quirks like the etymology. And it doesn't, so let's check Florida Museum of Natural History really quick, because I'm actually really curious. So this shark is a cousin of the great white. Hey Howard, what's up? Hello, welcome to Porbeagle night. I was just talking with Beth about the Porbeagle's name and where it comes from, and I actually honestly don't know. So let's look that up. Not there, here. I think Florida Museum of Natural History. Oh, there we go. Here we go. So the Porbeagle belongs to family Lamna, commonly called the mackerel sharks. The name Porbeagle is derived from the Cornish Porbeagle, and probably comes from a combination of porpoise, referring to its shape, and beagle, referring to its hunting prowess. Okay, that is actually incredibly awesome. In French, the Porbeagle is known as requin. I'm so sorry, I can't speak French. I cannot speak French. Requin-taupe commune? I don't know. In Spanish, morao sardinero, and in German, Heringschei. I don't know. I don't speak these languages. I am so sorry. I apologize to everybody. Other English language common names include Atlantic mackerel shark, blue dog, bottlenose shark, and Beaumaris shark. That's really cool. So, awesome. So, but I was telling Beth earlier, Howard, that there is a whole playlist of Porbeagle footage from Dibrem, which is one of the best shark YouTubers ever. So I think tonight what we'll probably do is we'll just kind of like, I'm just going to let the footage play as I kind of like pull some facts from like the books that I have, all the literature and the lore. So, oh yeah, thanks for asking, like about the name, because it's like, I literally didn't know, like I had no idea, and it is such an interesting, unusual name for this shark. So, but yeah, so let's see. I do want to do a shout out before making the screen bigger to Blue Turtle. We had this channel. This was the first channel that we had for music on the first stream. I really love them whenever I'm studying or working to something. It's always like chill, fantasy kind of vibe music. They're really great. I highly recommend subscribing, and they're super cool. So I just want to shout out to Blue Turtle. That's the music for tonight. And, oh, no ads, no ads. Haha, haha, I skipped the ad by talking very positively about Blue Turtle. So, alright. So let's go ahead and make this huge. Shout out again also to Dibrem. All this footage is from Dibrem. Please subscribe to Dibrem. They are super, super cool. So, Porbeagle Night. Let's get into it. I guess we'll start with Sharks of the World, because this has a really good profile, just in general, about really any kind of shark. Well, actually, almost every shark. This covers every shark thus far. So here we go. Porbeagle shark, Lamna nasus. Very similar to Lamna detropus, which is the salmon shark. The distribution of these species do not overlap, but with a longer, more pointed snout. Also, this guy is so interesting because it's like seeing it in motion. I mean, like whenever I saw photos or have seen photos of Porbeagle sharks, they always look like squatter to me, and like this, seeing it in motion, it is more streamlined, and it kind of like emulates. It reminds me of a mako shark so much more. You can tell just with like the head, it is more compressed, like well, not compressed, but like just shorter, kind of like stubbier. And the other thing is like things that are just sticking out to me. I don't know this shark extremely well, but things that are sticking out to me. The dorsal fin is enormous and also very like oddly shaped. Like it's so rounded. It doesn't have like a sharp trailing or like a sharp falcate edge or anything, which is really cool because like white sharks have more of a straight edge, and this Porbeagle's kind of more of like a rounded curve, which is pretty cool. Another thing is, I think I'm kind of curious how old this individual is, or how healthy this individual is, because this one is kind of thin. But there's footage of other Porbeagles where it's just like a bullet, and it looks so much like a tuna, and it's crazy, just like just that kind of bullet shape, and like the caudal keels near the tail, which help cut through the water. Like these mackerel sharks, all mackerel sharks are super, super cool, kind of with that unique body shape, and it's so fascinating to see like how mackerel sharks and tuna, like completely different branches of evolution, but they, based on their environment, they have such kind of like a similar shape. It's like just that rocket bullet sort of vibe going on. So sorry, just want to make a comment on that. We have Porbeagles in Virginia, but it's not a shark I've really heard much about, because it's more like offshore. It's kind of sort of coastal-ish, sort of not. So, and I don't think it's really common here. So, but let's see. North Atlantic and Southern Hemisphere in cool water, 2 to 22 degrees Celsius. Adults prefer 5 to 10 degrees Celsius. Juveniles and neonates are found in warmer water, not recorded in equatorial seas. Okay. Habitat inshore to continental offshore fishing banks, 0 to 200 meters, so that's just the sunlit zone. Occasionally to 1,800 meters in the open ocean. That's really cool. There's a Northwest Atlantic pupping ground in the warm waters of the Sargasso Sea. And Southern Hemisphere juveniles are common further north than the adult stocks. Wow, I did not know that. Wow, okay. So the Sargasso Sea, I think that's near Bermuda. I don't want to interrupt the footage, but where is it? Location Sargasso Sea, just using my other computer. So it's kind of like vaguely, I mean, probably it's closest to Bermuda, but it's like vaguely kind of in a gyre in the Atlantic, sort of between Florida, Cuba, Puerto Rico, in the middle of the ocean, like between like that part of the Atlantic and the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. So Super cool. I had no idea that was a pupping ground for the species. So, behavior migratory, moves inshore and to the surface in summer, winters offshore in deeper water. There's limited migratory exchange between northeast and northwest Atlantic stocks. That's actually really interesting. American Porbeagles and European Porbeagles don't really mix, which is fascinating. Oh, bottom left camera. That's super cool. Just some of the action going on there. So it just kind of caught my eye. Let's see. Populations are segregated by age, size, and sex, with younger sharks often found in warmer water than adults. Inquisitive may approach boats and divers, but not dangerous. That's really cool. And like all of this great footage is kind of lending to that. You know, these sharks are getting really close to these divers, and yeah, very casual. Kind of like taking a look at its behavior. It's definitely checking these guys out, but you know, it's not no aggressive posturing. Super calm and chill in terms of its movements and like its speed. Because like I think I've said this before, like sharks are scary how fast they are. Like I mean it's like literally like a bullet, like when they want to. But it's cool to see like this kind of chill mode for this guy. Man, these are cool. I am so happy. I've never really seen proper Porbeagle footage on YouTube, so I'm so happy this whole playlist exists. So it's super cool. And like I love it's so funny like the trunk, like kind of like the behind the pectoral fins. I mean it really reminds me of a mako, and then the head, it's so much like a white shark, but it's so much snubber. Like that's not really a word, but like stubbier. It's such a little chunk. It is so interesting. Like these are, I don't want to say it's like cute, but it's kind of cute. This is kind of cute. It's a cute little white shark. It's so cool. Cousin of the white shark, though. Viviparous, 1 to 5 pups per litter. Pups feed on unfertilized eggs, so this is also intrauterine cannibalism. Super cute. Birth occurs in spring and summer after 8 to 9 months gestation, with a 1 to 2 year reproductive cycle. Growth is slightly slower in the northeast. Oh, that's interesting. Than the northwest Atlantic. And northern Porbeagle are significantly larger and faster growing than those in the southern oceans. That makes sense, because, I mean, I don't know if this relates, but like northern oceans and temperate oceans, I think we talked about one of the streams, like in temperate areas there's a higher biodiversity for sharks, but also kind of more famously, like temperate areas have higher, I don't know the right way to put it, but like nutrient value or like productivity, like biological productivity. There's so much like plankton and like part of the reason like the waters are like, you know, greener or like not as clear as like tropical waters is like there's just so much going on, like so much plankton in the water, so much like predation, like it's they're very biologically productive ecosystems, and tropical areas are very rich in wildlife, but they as far as productivity goes, they're not as like what's the word? It's not as much biomass, or is not as much like I guess productivity is the right word. Like temperate areas tend to produce more than tropical areas, and so it's kind of interesting when it's saying that like northern Porbeagle are significantly larger and faster growing than those in the southern oceans. I can. Oh, but are they talking about? Actually, no. This guy, I might have made a mistake, because this guy does not live in tropics. They're talking about North Atlantic versus Southern Atlantic. So, kidding. Scratch that. That wouldn't apply them. If you have a thought on why North Atlantic Porbeagle are larger, please leave a comment, because I don't think I got that right then. Interesting. Anyway. Males mature at 6 to 10 years, females at 12 to... Oh, by the way, everything I said about temperate water, though, is correct. In terms of, like, temperate seas are more productive than tropical seas. So that part's correct, but that has nothing to do with the difference between northern and southern Porbeagle growth. So males mature at 6 to 10 years, females at 12 to 16.5 years. Maximum age is 26 to 60 years in the North Atlantic. That's so cool. Wow, these guys could be elders. Up to 65 years for smaller sized Porbeagle sharks around New Zealand. Feeds on small teleos, dogfish, taupe, and squid. Whoa, what's going on here? Sorry, I think it's the same video actually. Oh, so cool. Super, super cool. Oh, whoa, you can actually see it's like chasing something. Kind of look like, I can't get a good glimpse at it, but it kind of looked like a mackerel. Damn. Cool, cool, cool. Warm-blooded. Okay, that's probably the coolest thing about this group of sharks is their ability to raise their body temperature relative to their surroundings. And I think that is unique to the mackerel sharks. So white sharks can do it, porbeagles can do it, salmon sharks can do it, and mako sharks can do it. But I forget exactly the physiology of how they do it. And I think it's called Rete mirabilis, and I think tuna actually do it too, if I'm not mistaken. So if we have time, maybe we should dive into that later. If there's maybe if I can get a good source on that, like Fish's Gulf of Maine might have that. But anyway, warm-blooded and very active. Their high body temperature enables both species of Lamna, so the porbeagle and the salmon shark, to hunt prey in very cold water. Status: this is a vulnerable shark. It is critically endangered in the Northeast Atlantic and Mediterranean. So European porbeagle are critically endangered. And then it's endangered in the Northwest Atlantic? Oh. So our porbeagle, in my part of the world, are endangered. Sad. These populations were seriously depleted by decades of target and bycatch fisheries for the high value meat. Fins are also utilized. Catches in high seas, longline fisheries are unknown, but the Southwest Atlantic stock is also depleted and catch rates have declined around New Zealand. The status of other southern hemisphere stocks taken in unknown quantities as bycatch in longline fisheries is unknown. An important game fish listed in several international and regional environmental agreements, including CITES and CMS, or SIMS. Prohibited species under very restrictive quotas in most northern hemisphere fisheries, prohibited in Uruguayan fisheries, catch limits set in New Zealand. So, alright, interesting. I did not realize it was actually endangered, kind of where I am. So, ooh, look at the speckling on this individual. I'm just gonna check the comments really quick. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Awesome. Yeah, like I just saw your comment, Howard, about cold water species getting larger. Yeah, definitely. It tends to be a thing, and I do think it's a nutrient difference. So, like the difference in nutrients and productivity in temperate versus tropical environments. So, one thing that's kind of wild though, still, at least as far as sharks is concerned, it's fascinating how temperate environments are like. Oh, no ads. I don't want ads. I'm sorry. That's a good cause though, but no ads. Okay. While we're trying to avoid ads, let's see if we can find that Rete mirabilis, or the way porbeagles can raise their body temperature. So I'm on Florida Museum of Natural History. Thermoregulation. Here we go. As with all other members of the family Lamnidae, the mackerel sharks, the porbeagle has the ability to maintain its body temperature above ambient water temperature. This is an unusual trait among fishes, possessed by only a few other fast-swimming fish like tunas. All lamnids had vascular countercurrent heat exchangers, rete mirabila, that allow them to retain the heat produced by their metabolic processes. These retes are located in the muscle and in the viscera. There are also vascular shunts that allow the shark to alter the route of blood flow, further regulating rates of heat gain and heat loss. Interesting. Porbeagles can raise their body temperature up to 12.5 to 18 degrees Fahrenheit. That's crazy! Oh my gosh, that is nuts! Wow. Wow, that's actually really cool. Okay, so as kind of like a cool nerdy thing, When I leave, like during this time of year, when I go out to do like grocery shopping or something, right? Like I turn my heat off because I don't, I don't want to use power. I don't want to heat, where I live, like while I'm away, right? And then when I come back, it is usually this degree of difference, and it's like when you think about like the amount of energy it takes to like, just like heat your home and like power a place, to kind of like achieve that difference, and think that this shark is doing something that is also like kind of like that energetically challenging or taxing. It's so wild to think about, like, like physiologically, this is an amazing animal. Like this is so cool. This is important adaptation to the cold waters that the Porbeagle prefers and allows the Porbeagle to be a very fast swimming predator. Super cool. Yeah, so I'm catching up on comments. Salmon shark, yeah, these guys are pretty close. I know, like to your point, like salmon sharks, I think their pattern is more mottled. So like they tend to be more spotty or speckled. Because I always think of Porbeagles as like pretty shiny. I've never seen a speckled one, like the video we just saw. So that's pretty cool. Whoa! All right, I had no idea. Okay, I'm just reading. The Greenland shark lives in some of the coldest environments, and I believe they have an antifreeze type chemicals, which makes their meat toxic. Crazy. Okay, so I know their meat was toxic, but I didn't know why, and that is wild. I didn't know it was like that kind of like. That is so cool. Dude, that is awesome. Man, Greenland sharks, like, I don't know what it is, but like Greenland sharks and other sharks that like are able to go up to the Arctic, like they just kind of blow me away. Like I think it's the wildest thing. I think technically, like if you want to, I think if you want to extend the definition of the Arctic to like biologically, or sorry, like ecologically, like marine ecoregions of the world, dogfish, like pike dogfish, can go into the Arctic. Basking sharks can go into the Arctic, but Greenland shark is definitely probably the most adept, and that is super cool. I did not know that about the antifreeze. So wild. Let's see if we got anything new about the food. Like lancetfish, herrings, saris. I don't think what is a sari? I think it is. Let's look that up really quick. Let's see, oops, not sorry. Nope, no. Oh, actually, you know what? Maybe it's... Oh, no, there it is. It's a member of the family, so it's a mackerel. It's a little mackerel. Gotcha. Interesting. And mackerels. In the fall, these are mostly ground fish, like sand lances, lumps. Oh, man. Lump suckers are cool. Poor lump sucker. Flounders, hakes, and cod. That's actually really interesting that they... Because I think, yeah, hake's like the bottom. That's actually interesting that they go after those benthic species. Because it's like, this is such a classic pelagic build. Like, that's super cool, actually. Now, cephalopods like squid are the second most common prey item. Interesting. Let's go back, jump back to Dibrem, and see if we can get some more facts from Fishes of the Gulf of Maine. Because I was checking out Sharks of the World. Fishes of the Gulf of Maine probably has a lot more going on as far as like Porbeagle facts go. So let's see what we got. I think we have some people joining the stream. So welcome if you're new to the stream. We talk about a lot of different like shark books, but some of my favorites, and this isn't technically a shark book, but Fishes of the Gulf of Maine by Bigelow and Schroeder is an awesome marine biology book just in general. I highly recommend it, especially if you're into Atlantic species. So it's also interesting how this is framed. I think that's a mako shark. That's not a Porbeagle. So I think this might be. Let's get out of here. This might be more of like a formal presentation. And we just want some straight up Porbeagle footage. But anyway, Fishes of the Gulf of Maine is a great book. I highly recommend, and I really don't want ads. I highly recommend if you're interested in Atlantic species, and even if you're not studying like Acadia, like the Gulf of Maine ecoregion, it's still good for like, I would say, North Carolina northward, and also like Nova Scotia, and sort of maybe the Gulf of St. Lawrence, probably. You know, like it's a good resource for, because like a lot of those species and their ranges overlap. So, skibads. I promise I will invest in an ad blocker someday. So, okay. So let's see what we got. Fish of the Gulf of Maine for the Porbeagle. Da, 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 da. White shark, mako, Porbeagle. Da, 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 da. Oh, okay. Normally, Porbeagle in the Gulf of Maine are 120 to 180 centimeters length, or long, total length, and less than 90 kilograms. Individuals longer than 200 centimeters are not common, but larger individuals near 300 centimeters have been reported. This is near the maximum size for this species. Weight for specimens 100 centimeters long is about 9 kilograms, for 250 centimeters long is about 135 kilograms, and then for 275 centimeters long is about 180 kilograms. Big guy. The all-tackle game fish record is a 230 kilogram fish caught in Pentland Firth, Scotland in March 1993. So, let's see. The only Gulf of Maine sharks that might be confused with Porbeagle are white shark and shortfin mako. Porbeagle are easily told from the former by the spike-like smooth-edged teeth. Oh. And by the position of the second dorsal fin directly over the anal fin. Let's check that. Oh, interesting. I did not notice that. That's a cool detail. So we can get a good shot right there. That is actually really cool. I did not notice that. Yeah. I think. No, never mind. Yeah, never mind. I had a half-forward thought. Let's see. They could be distinguished from mako sharks by the presence of tooth cusplets and secondary caudal fin keels? Secondary keels? What does that mean? Like, so caudal fin keels, it's hard, let's see if I can pause this at a good shot. Aha! Okay. So caudal fin keels are this feature right here. You see how this is like a sharper edge? This helps, and I think all macro sharks have these. Actually, a lot of pelagic sharks have these. I'm pretty sure like whale sharks have keels. But anyway, but these keels help like maintain speed. Like these are kind of signs of a powerful swimmer. So this is what they're talking about whenever they talk about caudal fin keels. And I forget specifically how they work. It is something to do with like how they cut through the water, and like we should probably look that up later in terms of exactly how keels work. But the presence of a secondary keel, I don't know if this is the angle they paused it, but like, is this the primary and is this secondary? I don't know. I'm curious what that means. Let's put a pin. Well, I've never heard of that. I've heard of keels, but I've never heard of that particular feature, like a secondary keel. This would be cool. Huh. That looks like one big keel. So I don't really know exactly what they're describing. Oh, is it this thing? Check that out. It might be... Oh, it is that. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so it's this thing. So the primary keel is this long part of the shark's tail, and then right below it, this little line like right here is the secondary keel. That's really, really cool. I've never heard of a shark with that, actually. That's super, super cool. Damn, the shark is awesome. All right, Porbeagle night. Habits. Porbeagle lead a pelagic life, rarely entering shallow coastal waters. On calm days, they can be spotted on the surface with when their triangular dorsal fins cut through the water. Although described as an active, strong-swimming shark, compared to other species, they put up little resistance when hooked. They range from coastal surface waters to depths down to 300 meters. Most are taken from August to November, but they do occur in the Gulf of Maine as well as in North European waters throughout the winter. No surprise, because it can raise its body temperature, so that's actually pretty cool. Apparently, they descend into deeper water during the winter to escape low surface temperatures. They may reduce their feeding, as few have been taken in the winter longline fishery. Porbeagle are very efficient at warming their bodies, being able to keep their red muscle and stomachs as much as 10 degrees Celsius warmer than the surrounding seawater. These guys are so cool. Let's see, we already covered diet. We covered reproduction for the most part. Yeah. Owing to their large size, litters consist of only 1 to 4 young. That is a pretty small litter size. In the Gulf of Maine, females contain developing embryos in the winter, but not in the summer. Also, I feel like the music stopped. It's good music. I don't want it to stop. Sorry about that. I think my internet was freaking out, or is this like a pause? That was a pause. Okay. Gotcha. Sorry about that interruption. What's up, Royal Roy? Oh, hey! It's Anya! What's up, Anya? Alright, so let's see. I'm just catching up on comments. Cool. Oh my gosh, it's a big shark study party. What's up, guys? Another Monday, different shark. Yeah. We've got, what do we got? We've got 9 down and 435 possibly to go. No, 530 something. It's in the 500s. We're still in the 500s. It's a long road, but it's been super fun. So it's good to see everybody. This is really awesome. Let's go back to the footage. All right. Where was I? I was in reproduction. Oh, the collection of large embryos in European seas in summer suggests. No, my goodness, no ads, man. Get out of here! What the hell is this? This is not the Porbeagle. This is not what they wanted. Okay, there we go. Man, frightening. What was that? We collectively blacked out and had a weird dream just now. All right. The collection of large embryos in European seas in summer suggests either a later popping season in the eastern Atlantic or a single North Atlantic stock that migrates seasonally across the Atlantic. Huh. Maybe, interesting. Based on the collection of ripening males in August, we estimated that the gestation period is about 8 months, with females breeding again about 3 months later. That's actually really quick. Just now, examined nearly 400 males and 400 females, and results corroborate these findings. And after a protracted fall mating period, females give birth to approximately 4 pups in the spring, with a 1-year reproductive cycle with gestation lasting 8 to 9 months. Okay, so that's actually really quick, and it's actually really sad that even though that's like that's fairly quick reproduction, it's still an endangered species in the western North Atlantic, critically endangered in the eastern North Atlantic, and then just vulnerable globally. And it's probably because it is they're just producing 4 pups. Even though that is a very quick reproductive cycle as far as sharks are concerned. So interesting. Let's see. I don't need to go into super deep growth parameters. Okay. Currents in the Gulf of Maine. Because Porbeagle prefer boreal waters, they are more widely distributed in the area than other lamnoid sharks. Seemingly, the chief centers of the population in the Western Atlantic are along outer Nova Scotia and to the western Gulf of Maine. They apparently shun the cold waters of the Bay of Fundy, but are common in areas such as Platts Bank, Nantucket Shoals, the Isle of Shoals. Oh, I used to go to the Isle of Shoals when I was a kid. Cape Ann, and Massachusetts Bay. The most recent record from the Gulf of Maine is of 175 kilogram Porbeagle taken about 5 miles southeast of the Isle of Shoals on a weekend in 1998. August 1998. So, crazy. Yeah, so let me read that again. Seemingly the chief centers of population in the Western Atlantic are along outer Nova Scotia. That is really cool. So, fun fact just in general, I think when asked what is the heart of the heart of sharks, I think I forget which scientist was asked this, but they were asked kind of an interesting question, what is the center of all sharks, or the most biologically rich shark place or whatever. And it was kind of a vague question, and the scientist being asked was there's a lot of ways you can answer that. But one way he answered it was, if you're talking about biomass, the place where the most sharks gather in one location, he argued for the Grand Banks of Newfoundland, which is not too far from Nova Scotia. It's far-ish, but it's still Canada. So, which is really cool. Shout out to Canada. And I think he was specifically talking about pike dogfish, aka spiny dogfish, in Nova Scotia, and the Grand Banks being a particularly productive area for sharks, but or for those sharks specifically. But just kind of a fun fact, when asked if you had to look at everywhere in the world where is a shark center, as far as biomass is concerned, he picked the Grand Banks of Newfoundland, which is not too far from Nova Scotia. So as far as most biodiverse, I forget his answer, which is really sad, and we have to look that up. It's probably, I don't think it's the Atlantic. It's a temperate zone. It might be Japan or southern Australia, southern New Zealand. So I would not say, I love the Atlantic, but I would not say it's the Atlantic. So anyway, during the early 19th century, Porbeagle liver oil was important. The meat became popular table fare in the 1940s, resulting in landings on the coast of Maine of about 20,000 kilograms in 1944 and 32,000 kilograms in 1945. This fishery soon died out, but another was initiated in Northwest Atlantic by the Norwegians in the early 1960s, which caught over 10,000 individuals from March through September. Let's see. A similar effort by the Faroese, the Faroe Islands? Is that Scotland? We should look that up. During the mid-1960s, also suffered quick reductions in catch effort. The fact that this stock can be overfished so rapidly is often used as an example of how quickly sharks can be overexploited by fishing ventures. Okay, interesting. So that's probably why it's so endangered. I have a couple books here left, but we'll kind of dive into the IUCN Red List and more of Florida Museum of Natural History, because I don't want another ad to pop up. And I don't think these other books, this one is Shark Biology of Conservation, pretty good read. I don't think they'll have a lot on Porbeagle specifically though, but I do want to check. Okay. They're talking about the second caudal which, so far, this is the biggest thing I've learned tonight. I had no idea that was even a thing. I had no idea that sharks even had that. That's super cool. Yeah, there's an interesting note. The Porbeagle typifies overfished sharks, which is interesting. Because we talked about earlier how it's on sites and sims. Those are kind of the most important environmental regulation efforts for sharks. So the fact that the Porbeagle is on both is interesting, and that this is coming up, that this is a poster child for overfishing as far as sharks go. That's pretty interesting. I did not know that about Porbeagles. gonna sort of look for this for a little bit, and then I'll bounce away if I can't find it in like 5 seconds. Yeah, that's 5 seconds. I can't find it. Okay. We'll check one more thing. Pocket Guide to Sharks of the World. But I don't think it's going to tell us anything in addition to Porbeagle, so we'll probably just hop over to like primary sources in a little bit. So, here we go. Oh, interesting. Okay, so there is something new. Northern species. I don't think that's written correctly. Oh wait. Oh, maybe it is. Okay. Northern species have no dusky blotches. Southern species have distinctive dusky hood and dusky blotches, similar to Lamna ditropis, which is a salmon shark. So it's interesting how they phrase it as species, because this is like one of the best shark books ever. Where maybe the northern and southern populations are thought of as potentially different species, like a species complex, which is something that a lot of sharks, like bull sharks, are thought of as a species complex. Hammerheads, famously or infamously, like scalped hammerhead versus Carolina hammerhead. Like it's not a surprise if the northern population of Porbeagles might be different, like to the point it's a different species of southern population. So that was an interesting note. All right, so I'm just gonna sit here and watch this with you guys, and I'll probably just like shrink this in a little bit. I don't know if I have too much more to add, because this whole group of sharks is not something I know too well. I haven't really done a lot with mackerel sharks, including the white shark. I really actually, I know white sharks are like supposed to be the most like social shark, or like there's interesting studies about like white shark intelligence. So, but as far as the group goes, I don't really know too much. But all right, let's hop back to the chat. So, all right, and I'm so sorry, guys. I'm just trying to catch up. Oh, I got a dislike. Oh no, that's so sad. Who would dislike this? So sad. But I got a like. I think the like is from, I don't know who that's from actually, but thank you for the like. So, let's see. Oh man, I gotta really catch up on the chat. So sorry, guys. Thank you. 2 likes. All right, 2 likes. We've beaten the dislikes back. All right. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, guys. I can't see. It's how it's set up. I can't see the chat while I'm watching some of the videos. So, all right. Ooh, hey Roy, got your hands on Sharks of the World? Yes, that is like, isn't it awesome? That book is amazing. So, dude, it's awesome. Yes, and Anya, I definitely want to, like, we gotta follow up on the biodiversity thing, like in terms of like what place in the world would be like the most biodiverse or the richest as far as sharks go. So super cool. West Coast Haida peoples venerate a dogfish spirit. Whoa. Wait. All right. So I kind of want to follow that. Dogfish, Porbeagle are understudy in general. Mission to Mako family. Yeah, okay, so, sorry, just wanted to catch up with everybody. So, okay, West Coast Haida peoples. So I know that's not a Porbeagle thing, but I'm actually really curious. Haida, H-A-I-D-A, let's see. Haida people, dogfish. Whoa. Alright, I don't know if this is a good link, but... Or maybe it is. Oh no, this is well, Porbeagle Native Canadian Arts. One of the most powerful supernatural beings at the height of mythology is the dogfish woman, who derives her shamanic powers from the dogfish. Like many high stories, the story of the dogfish was one of transformation that moved between the human and non-realms. Among many other themes, the story speaks to the attract sexes, various species, and lost love. A woman who traveling with her husband, she used to make fun of dogfish. They went to visit a small rock in the sea. When they were out there, the dogfish, whose home was rock came and took the woman down into the sea. And she discovered this dogfish was really people. They had taken off the dogfish blankets. After she had stayed in the house for some time, fins began to grow upon her arms, her legs, and her back. Her husband was searching for her everywhere, but was not able to find her. After a number of years, he found her. Her face had remained unchanged, but fins had grown on her arms, on her legs, on her back, and on her head. She never returned. Ever since that time, her family have used the dogfish crest, and their house is called the Dogfish House. So, Howard, is this like? Oh, nice. Okay, I wanted to check if this was like right. I just want to make sure this is like, accurate. So, this is so cool. Look at the teeth, by the way. Like, because look how they round to the point, like there's this like inward curve with this little point. I think that's actually really fascinating because dogfish teeth have a unique shape that it's not like a pointy, classic, typical shark's tooth. Like, this jaw. It's kind of like it's a very unique shape. Oh, okay, Wikimedia Commons. Don't want to crash this. It's not good resolution. But I think, this is actually really cool that, like, and even though this is still like kind of broad and like I don't want to say it's like I don't want to say like the tooth shape is generic. But like all the shapes you can make, I do think that's actually really cool that it's making this like this curve with a point, almost like this is a really horrible description, like a Taj Mahal-y kind of thingy. That's a really horrible description. But like with dogfish teeth, they have such a unique shape that's more rounded, as opposed to like the classic idea of shark's tooth. I think that's an interesting choice as far as this piece of art is concerned. Let's see if I can find a better example. And actually, we should probably go through shark. No, not that. Shark references. I want to expand all because their Google search sometimes does not work. Also, what's really funny is like between like the Porbeagle footage and maybe the Earl Grey, I'm kind of wired right now, which is hilarious because like I was a little down today. Okay, yeah, check it out. And like now I'm just like completely like zany. All right, see what I'm talking about? Where it's like, for the dogfish, like that curve and then the point, like that smooth round shape with an apex right there. That's really cool that you can kind of see that in the art. I know I sound crazy, but it's like I just kind of think about for like if you can make any kind of decision or tooth shape or whatever, you can have like curved slanting teeth or like triangle teeth, and I just think that's really cool. That this legend is specifically with a dogfish. Even the tail. Look at the tail, because like the tail is like a square shape, and like dogfish tails, like they're more like rounded in appearance. It's not like a classic lunate caudal fin. So it's actually really cool. Like this, even though this is not like anatomically 100% accurate or specific, there's elements of this that are kind of like, yeah, I could tell this is derived from a dogfish and not from like a white shark or something. So that's actually extremely cool. So dude, Howard, thank you. Like that is actually really cool to check out. I never knew this, so super cool. What's fun is for a lot of like art, like art, like ocean art or shark art, you can kind of like make what's the word, you can sort of like do some detective work. Yeah, for sure. Like shark culture is fascinating because it's like you can like do some detective work with like older pieces, like pre 1900 sort of art and kind of see see if you can kind of figure out like what shark they're riffing off of. Like one of my favorites is and I can't remember what it was, but it's this European image of a monk under the sea, and it's like this monk with his robes, and it looks like this angel or this like flat shape. And angel sharks used to be called monkfish. And when you kind of like put two and two together and like look at like why in the world did this person draw this image of this creature underwater, but he's like choosing to depict it like a monk or monk's robes, you can kind of deduce that like, oh, he saw an angel shark. He just didn't really know exactly what it was, so he made this fanciful drawing. But that fanciful drawing, more likely than not, is from the angel shark. Likewise, with this image, more likely than not, it's from a dogfish. So super cool. Like I again, like you said, shark culture is fascinating. So, let's go back to our boy, the Porbeagle. Poor boy. Let's see. All Lamna, nasus. Oh, wait, no, not C. F nasus. Lamna, nasus. There we go. Wow, these are wild images. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to do that. Let's check out, I just want to check out, sometimes Florida Museum of Natural History has a good little overview, so I'm just kind of like scanning through this to see if there's anything in addition we can learn. Oh, 500 pounds for the non-metric folk. That's how big I can get. We went through common names earlier, which is super cool. I am actually curious where Lamna comes from, and nasus comes from. That'd be interesting. Oh, interesting. In the past, when population abundances were higher, porbeagles were often considered a nuisance because of the damage they often caused to light fishing gear. Today, they are regulated in Norwegian and Canadian fisheries for porbeagles in the North Atlantic. In the southern hemisphere, there's a small regulated Norwegian fishery. The porbeagle is also a significant bycatch species, the second most common in Norwegian fishery. Shout out to Norway and Canada for regulating these fisheries. It is also commonly caused bycatch by Japanese longliners and probably other fisheries in the southern Indian Ocean. The catch in these fisheries is probably used mostly for fins. Recreational fisheries in the United Kingdom, Ireland, and the United States. Wait, what? There are recreational fisheries for the shark in the U.S. and catch release in Canada. Ugh. I didn't know we did that. Yikes. Rarely attacks humans. The International Shark Attack File lists 2 unprovoked attacks by porbeagles off England and Canada, both on divers, and both non-fatal. Interesting. Porbeagles have been filmed making fast passes at divers on oil platforms in the North Sea without attacking. This is probably agonistic, defensive, or exploratory behavior. That's actually really cool. So that kind of is in line with Gulf of Maine quote that like it's an inquisitive species. That's pretty interesting. So conservation. This is out of date because this is vulnerable currently, and we were talking about regionally it's critically endangered. And I'm sorry, I just hopped over to the IUCN Red List. Porbeagle stocks in the North Atlantic were seriously depleted due to overfishing in the latter half of the 20th century. Up until the mid-20th century, the porbeagle was intensively fished by Norway as well as Denmark and Sweden in European waters. Catches peaked in 1947 and declined steadily thereafter, leading Norway to expand its fishery to the northwest Atlantic. When stocks there were similarly depleted, Norwegian fisheries shifted to targeting other large pelagic fishes. Ooh, okay, I might redact my shout out. Today, the Porbeagle is protected in U.S. waters, and catches are regulated by the European Community, which permits only a small regulated catch for Norway and New Zealand. Also, since 1995, Canada has limited fishing licenses, gear, fishing areas, and seasons for the Porbeagle, prohibited finning of Porbeagles, and limited recreational fishing to catch and release only. In 1997, the world catch reported to the FAO was 1,700 tons, while the current maximum sustainable yield is estimated at 1,000 tons. So, just checking the chat. Ooh. I'm just catching up on. Natives were modifying fossil shark teeth to mount on spears and arrows. Many examples were found hundreds of miles inland in the U.S. Ooh, awesome! Yeah, like I remember reading somewhere that. Oh, that's so cool! Sorry, I'm catching up on these comments too. Learned that fossil shark teeth were used as objects to ward off disease or bad luck. So cool. Like, I was about to say, like, I know, like, the shark tooth trade in the East Coast, like, I think North Carolina, all the way up to New England, all the way into like, Ohio and possibly Mississippian cultures. And there have been, archaeological, like, studies or findings where they were talking about how shark's teeth, and in particular megalodon teeth, being, like, as big as they are, were used in likely used in shamanic rituals, or likely used or adorned, like they're necklaces made out of these teeth, and they're likely attributed to shamans of those tribes because the teeth themselves represent the transition from life to death, or also it may represent a mastery of the sea, in terms of, like, there's some cultures that the belief is if you have the tooth, you will be safe. Like if you have the tooth, you are safe to venture out and go fishing. And then as far as the transition to life to death is concerned, I think there was, if I remember correctly, it was like the theory was like there was an observation, like some people's observed like living shark's teeth are white, and then like fossil shark's teeth are black, and they know it's the same object, but it transitions over time, and so it represented like that overall process of like life and death, or like that transition into the afterlife. So shark's teeth in like Eastern American cultures, or not all of them, but like in some Eastern American cultures, represented it had a spiritual significance and represented like change or transition, or in some cases like mastery of the ocean. So this is so cool. Empress of the Deep. I gotta read that. Oh my gosh. So, thank you for joining this chat. This is super, super cool. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Catches the Porbeagle in Southern Indian Ocean. Importantly known. Suitable bycatch species, Japanese longline fisheries, and probably others. There's no regulation catches the Porbeagle in the Southern Hemisphere except for the New Zealand fishery. Interesting. Yeah, Roy, like, I can't imagine, like, what fossil hunting... I'm actually going fossil hunting this weekend, like, but I can't imagine, like, how many teeth, like, people found, like, back then, and, like, how many teeth there were to be found back then. I can't imagine, because it's, like, there's some areas, like, in the Chesapeake area that are still pretty rich, so, just, like... Nanjamoy, I'm just going to give up the bearings, so, but Nanjamoy is an area in Maryland, that has a lot of shark's teeth, and it's kind of, I think it's also called Perce State Park. It's not, like, a public park anymore, but you can still, like, just park there and go out to the beach, but, yeah, I'm just going to add a comment. Does that work? Yeah, Perce State Park. Yeah, fossil hunters are probably gonna like be really angry at me for like sharing these locations, but both in Maryland. Yeah, but these like you can get a lot of shark's teeth there. Like a lot of, I think if we're doing this right, oligocene teeth. So old lamniform teeth. So, but anyway, sorry, side tangent. And the fact that location is still like very rich. I can't imagine like what I mean, like anywhere, but like the Chesapeake watershed was you know, Megs all around. Like I still don't have a Meg, but I would love a Megalodon tooth. So, and I'm sure they were kind of everywhere. So, let's see. We're talking about distribution for the Porbeagle. There's apparently little exchange between Porbeagle populations. For example, populations in the Northwest Atlantic seem relatively segregated from those of the Northeast, and populations from the Northern Hemisphere are separate from those in the Southern Hemisphere. I wonder, I don't know, later tonight if we'll find something that further suggests that Northern Hemisphere and Southern Hemisphere might be different species, but we'll see. Habitat, we talked about that. Seasonal migrations. Okay, this is interesting. Porbeagles appear to be segregated by both size and sex. Skewed sex ratios are often noted in catches of this species. Also, in catches in the Bristol Channel, large females were notably absent, meaning mature females may separate from mature males and juveniles for some part of the breeding cycle. This phenomenon has been reported for other pelagic sharks, such as the salmon shark. Oh, interesting. The Porbeagle's Pacific congenitor, and the blue shark, Prionis glauca, and maybe advantage is in limiting copulation to a specific season, as well as preventing cannibalism of neonates by adult males. Oh my goodness. Wow, okay, that's actually fascinating. Large females are obviously absent. Okay, so males separate from females possibly for the reason of not eating their kids. That's crazy. So, never... Like, I've heard of intrauterine cannibalism. I have heard of shark cannibalism, but, like, I've never heard of this specific variety of it. That's pretty wild. So... and then I've never heard of that for the blue shark. I do know for blue sharks, I think they have the largest amount of pups, and I don't want to sound crazy, but I think it's like literally like 100. Let's check this really quick. Like I'm not even joking. Like blue sharks have a lot of pups. Let's check that really quick, because I'm sorry, I'm too curious. Prionis glauca. Super curious. 80 pups in a litter. Okay, so I was sort of close-ish. So it's still wild. Gestation periods of blue shark range from 9 to 12 months and result in litters averaging about 30 individuals, but can have up to 80 pups in a litter. So crazy. All right. Sorry, just wanted to shout out to the blue shark because I just remember that, and just random fun fact for Porbeagle night. So, let's see. Interesting. So, you don't have to okay, as far as I know, this is interesting. This is a good question. I'm just catching up. Do you have to register to go and fossil hunt there? So as far as I know, you do not. I will say, like, I've sort of been potentially, while I'm on this live stream, maybe not the most conscientious as far as, like, what the laws are. But I'm not necessarily saying that, you know, I'm just saying that, like, you know. Anyway, but, like, so for state parks, not state parks, well, actually, maybe state parks and definitely national parks, you really are not allowed to pull fossil shark's teeth. However, this location that I just mentioned, Nanjamoy and Perth State Park, are not parks anymore. They're not managed by Park Service. I don't really know what they are at this point. Like, I think they're kind of like abandoned or like lost parks. I don't really know what they are, but they're not actively managed at all. So you can still go there. Like guests go there all the time. You would not get in trouble if you go there and collect fossil teeth. That is totally fine. Fossil Sharks of the Chesapeake Bay by Bretton Kent. Ooh, okay. I gotta make a reading list actually here. I'm so happy. Like, This is really dumb. This is a 90s kid comment, but like I'm so happy we have the iPhone where I can take quick notes. So as opposed to like a notepad. It's so dumb, but like it's so helpful. Alright, sorry. Fossil sharks of the Chesapeake. Fossil sharks. I would actually love that. There's a peak by Brett and Kent. And then Anya mentioned Emperors of the Deep. Okay. Alright, so yes, I will keep those. Thank you. That's a really good recommendation. So, oh, how much is it? So, but as far as I know, like, honestly, for state parks in Virginia, you can take the teeth. I think some famous ones like Westmoreland, you're technically not supposed to, but I think people just do. And then I think Chip Oaks Plantation, sort of same deal. I think you're technically not supposed to, but like people just do. And then, but for other fossil areas that are nationally, like Colonial National Historical Park, you are not allowed to take the teeth, or you're not supposed to take the teeth. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm sort of, I don't know. Like, there's some aspect, if you appreciate shark's teeth and you understand what you're picking up, I mean, there's some part of me that's kind of like, I mean, I don't know. If it's super rare, I like kind of like we talked about, I think on Snaggletooth Night, like, you know, we should put it in a museum. But if it's like, you know, something that's like cool and you appreciate it, but, you know, it's not super rare, I don't know. I mean, private collections are good, you know. I mean like, actually no, let me rephrase that. No. Your own shark collection, your own shark tooth collection, Amazon, $190. Wait a minute, fun question for Canada. Sorry, like I was kind of going nowhere with my thought. So, because Canada dollars, is that worth more than American dollars? I think 50 US is 190 US, or sorry, is $190 American dollars or Canadian dollars? Because I think Canadian dollars is worth more, right? I think Canada bucks. I don't know. Let me look that up. Canadian to American dollars. 1 Canadian dollar equals 0.75 United States dollars. So the Canadian dollar is more valuable, bigger, more expensive, interesting. So that is a very expensive book, but like definitely worth the read though, because it's like fossil. I mean, like the Chesapeake Bay is like so rich in like fossils. I mean, like it'd definitely be worth the investment, honestly. So super cool. All right, Porbeagles. I think I kind of forgot where we were. It prefers cold water, but is once recorded in water 73 degrees Fahrenheit, 23 degrees Celsius. It does not appear to enter fresh water, but has been caught in a brackish estuary of Argentina. That's interesting and shocking. I've never heard of a lamnid entering estuaries. It can be found at the surface to a depth of 715 meters, so Twilight Zone. Let's see. Oh, we were talking about the sex ratios. This is not a good diagram in terms of, well, okay, maybe it's not that bad, because it's like, it's talking about the caudal is lunate with 2 keels, so this is the second keel. That's like first keel up here, second keel down here. That's honestly the coolest thing ever. Like, I just never knew some sharks had that. Oh, interesting. In addition to having different ranges, the Porbeagle could be distinguished from its congener, the salmon shark, by its slightly longer, more pointed snout. This characteristic also differentiates it from the white shark, really, as well as the presence of the secondary caudal keels, which are absent in the white shark. Honestly, I think the caudal keels is kind of like the coolest, maybe most distinctive thing. And apart from the general body shape of this species, the caudal keels are like extremely cool. Color, typically not the best for shark identification. The white free rear tip of the dorsal fin distinguishes the porbeagle from both the salmon shark and the white shark. Wait a minute. Oh, cool! I did not notice that. Let's go back to some footage. Does it really have that? Play. Let's see if we can get a white tip. Oh my god! Look at that, guys. A white. Look at the tip of the dorsal fin. That is so cool. Let's get that shot again. Whoops. That's really cool. Okay, I take that back. Usually color is not a good way to identify sharks, but that's actually such a cool feature. So this free rear tip of the dorsal fin is white, and like distinctly white. This is a way to, if you're kind of like confused from like a boat or something, or like this is coming out of like murky water and you can't tell if it's a mako or a white shark. God forbid it's a white shark, but that is really, really cool. White free rear tip. Super, super cool. Shark is full of surprises. Let's see if we can get another... I hope we can get another shot of that. There we go. Kind of. Yeah, kind of. You can kind of see it there. So I don't know about you guys. I'm definitely walking away from tonight with like Porbeagle ID skills, like, because I frankly like didn't have a specific, like, I didn't know the specifics in terms of like what made this different from, like, generally like when you look at it you could totally tell it's not a white shark or a mako shark, but I didn't know some of these like unique little details, like the free rear tip of the dorsal fin and then the secondary keel. That's really, really cool. So oops, sorry, it's my background. Didn't mean to show that. Oh, thank you, Anya. The Canadian dollar is worth more here, so the US dollar is stronger. Gotcha. Cool. Yeah, I don't know, keels, I forget, like, what the mechanics are for the keels. Faster and smoother propulsion? Maybe. I actually forget the mechanics on that, like in terms of like how, because again, like tuna have keels, so it's like I forget exactly what they do and like exactly how that works. So, let's see. Let's see. Oh, did the music disappear again? Oh yes, I am continuing to enjoy this music. Thank you. Alright. When we're talking about the color, that's where we were. So, okay, so fun question. Same here. Like I'm just catching up on the chat. This is why I love these study parties, because it's like we're all learning together. Like I literally, as I've said before, on a lot of these streams, maybe each and every one of these streams, I'm learning a lot. Like there's a lot that I didn't know before. So could add just a little more lift too. Ooh, that's a good point, Anya. That's a really good point. Interesting. Yeah, like I'm not super good with I don't even know what you call that, like mechanics? Is it, would you call that mechanics? Like biomechanics, sorry, biomechanics. So I'm not super good with that, but like it is actually a really fascinating field where you can really get into the details about how the shark's body shape and fins cut the water in such a way that it creates a specific kind of wake that maximizes how fast, like it maximizes, it's like an airplane. It's like it maximizes how fast that can go. I guess like reducing drag or something. I forget specifically how it works. I'm really not good at biomechanics. But each shark, like in terms of like its pectoral fin directly influences, or like the shape of its pectoral fin directly influences the shape of the dorsal fin, directly influences the shape of the caudal fin. Like each element is cutting the water in a unique way that was best for this species. Like it's super super cool. I'm sure the keels are part of that, and it's just like sharks are awesome. I mean, all fish are awesome, but like I mean, come on, sharks are like they're kind of the best. So. Let's see. What's this? The three ridges separated by, dermal denticles. So, I'm reading. I also. Oh, sorry. Oh, same with the bumps on the humpback pectoral fins that create. Oh, that's so cool! Cavitation and reduced drag. That is so cool! Oh my gosh. Yes, evolution has intentions. That is so so cool. Oh my gosh. I did not know that about the humpback whales. Because I know the bumps you're talking about, but I didn't know. That is so cool. Oh my gosh. Love it. It's so cool. Oh my god, the ocean's awesome. Oh man. Let's see. We talked about thermoregulation. Talked about this. I kind of jumped to the section earlier. Talked about the diet. R.I.P. lump suckers. Let's see. Northern Hemisphere, porbeagles mate autumn-winter and give birth spring-summer. The little data that exists for some southern hemisphere populations indicate that they may be out of phase with those in the northern hemisphere, giving birth off New Zealand and Australia in winter. Interesting. Okay. If they are out of phase, I mean, that's actually kind of a hint that they could be. I mean, like, they could be. If these populations don't mix, it's not a surprise that they might be different species. Or if there's a study about, like, these two groups of porbeagle possibly being different species, that's pretty interesting. So, just a little note there. I don't know. Like, we haven't seen anything strongly suggesting that they could be possibly different species yet, but I don't know. This is interesting. Talk about that. Aside from predators, there's little known about predators for the porbeagle shark. Because of its large size, an adult porbeagle likely have very few predators. White sharks and orcas are potential candidates, but no records of predation by these species exist. Oh, here we go. Latin words. Taxonomy. The current valid name of the shark is Lamna nasus. The genus name Lamna is translated from the Greek lamna s as a voracious fish, while the species name nasus originates from Latin meaning nose. So, the nosy voracious fish. Interesting. Although I like that little detail that, because we were talking about, I think one of the descriptors is that it has a pointed snout, and yeah, I'm curious if that's probably why it's called nasus. So, interesting. Lots of different squalus, lamna, oxyrhina. That's a cool name. Isoropus decay. So these are cool. Oxyrhina and Isoropus. These are, or Oxyrhina is related to mako shark. Latin name I think is like Oxyrhinus, right? I think it's Oxyrhinus. You shall check the little guide. It's Oxyrhinus, right? Do 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 Isurus oxyrhinus is the mako shark, so that's actually really cool that like those roots are there when they were trying to name the Porbeagle, Oxy and Isur. That's really cool. Fun, fun, fun. Alright, might hop over to Ice and Red List. So, oh, cool. Roy, I just read in one of the sections of my book that the keels provide stability when swimming. They're like training wheels for faster sharks. That is so cool. Oh, that would be a great drawing. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Yeah, if anybody draws, by the way, like, because like there is, I think, let me do, www.drjaws.net. My website's still totally valid, right? I think it is. Okay, so if anybody draws, you are more than welcome to, I think you can send, I guess you can't send, you might be able to send an attachment, we'll figure that out. Anyway, you are more than welcome to send me a message if you ever want to provide a drawing, because like for these study parties, we've got like, we've got like the loading screen, like before the live stream start. I am super cool with like, if anybody draws and if anybody wants to just send a shark drawing or something, that is a place to do it. This is the Dr. Jaws website. I will receive it and I will put it on the loading screen. So just fun fact, fun shout out to possibly doing that if anybody likes to draw and would like to do that. So totally up to you. And any future viewers, if anybody is watching this and this is like months old or something, yeah, fun. All drawings are welcome. So. So we're on the IUCN red list now. I think we've covered a lot of this shark, but let's check out some assessment details. Two separate subpopulations, North Atlantic, Southern Hemisphere. We've got low biological productivity, small litters, late age and maturity, and shorter lifespan. Because I thought, didn't we read that it can get up to 60? I thought we read it could get up to 60 in the Northern Hemisphere and then 65 in New Zealand, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. Talk about fisheries. Steep declines have occurred in the North Atlantic. The North Atlantic subpopulation reduction was 50 to 79% over 3 generations, 58 years. And the Southern Hemisphere subpopulation reduction was 20%, greater than 20% over 3 generations, 114 years. The overall estimated median reduction is 26.5%, with a 41.5% probability of a 20% reduction, and 45.5%. I don't know why I'm saying half, of a less than 30% reduction over 3 generations. Expert judgment elicitation was used to estimate that globally the reduction is 30 to 49% over 3 generations. And therefore, the Porbeagle is assessed globally as vulnerable. Interesting. Let's see what else Population in detail. There's no data available on the absolute global population size of the Porbeagle. Genetic data support 2 separate subpopulations of the Porbeagle, the North Atlantic and the Southern Hemisphere. No genetic structure was found within the North Atlantic or Southern Hemisphere subpopulations. I'm just kind of scanning through this. I'm checking the chat too. Just a contest. Well, sure. Like I'm down for a shark drawing contest. So, any and all sharks are welcome. So, oh yeah. I don't know. Like, I guess. I mean, I guess we could do a contest, and the winner can be featured on the stream, provided that it's all completely understood that like the winner. I mean, it's like it's just arbitrary to my taste. It doesn't necessarily mean the specific drawing is better or anything. It's just like it's my mood and stuff. But yeah, I'm down for. I mean, yeah, I am down for a shark art contest. Actually, while we're talking about possibly the next stream. Anybody have suggestions for next week's shark? Because it's like I think I asked that question too late on the streams, so I just want to put it out there. The deadline is next stream, yeah. So yeah, I just want to put it out there. If you guys have suggestions or thoughts on the next week's shark, and then also next week's music, please feel free to leave a comment. And I'm asking now. I'm still going to be on for a little while, but I'm asking now because I feel like I usually ask a little bit late. So we're just gonna put it out there so there's time. So because I think we collectively. I don't know if anyone suggested the Porbeagle, but we talked about the Porbeagle last week, and then it's like, yeah, that's a good one. So, but anyway, let's see. Which it literally is. Like this shark has been a really especially fun stream because like I've learned so much about a shark that I really didn't know anything about, and this is maybe like our best discussion too, guys. Like just it's super fun. So let's see. Where oh yeah, I was in stats. I'm yeah Bayesian. Okay, just trying to find anything that's sticking out in particular. Sorry if it looked like I looked up. There's a bug on my curtain. It's just coming out. So I hope it didn't look like I was like staring right into the camera because that would be awkward. But anyway, let's see. You know what? It's awesome actually seeing a lot of like shout out again to Canada because we're seeing a lot of like Canadian contributions to this specific species. Like the most we've seen on a stream, I think. Like as far as the sharks that we've covered. Oh, did something cut out? Is everybody still here? Am I going crazy? Ooh, the Greenland shark. Greenland shark. Yes. All right. Greenland shark with the antifreeze. The antifreeze molecule. I am down for the Greenland shark. So, all right. Good suggestion. My computer just acted a little weird. Can everybody still hear me? Like, are we still good? Like, talking about the bug and the bug cursed me. Oh, can you guys hear me? Everything just kind of like, oh shoot! I hope this didn't like close. Let me check on my phone really quick. That'd be quite sad. Old shark. Yeah, for sure. I think we're good. That'd be quite sad. Oh, okay, yeah, we're good. Yeah, thanks guys. Awesome. Thank you guys. Yeah, I don't know what happened there, so I think I just kind of. I think the roll grade is getting to me. All right. And the stats. I'm not seeing anything that is. I mean, there's a lot of valuable information here, but like I'm not seeing anything that's like really jumping out at me like the moral of the story. Let's see. Okay. Across both subpopulations, Porbeagles estimated to have strongly declined in the North Atlantic and declined far less quickly in the Southern Hemisphere. The North Atlantic subpopulation reduction was 50 to 79% over 3 generations. The Southern Hemisphere subpopulation reduction was less than 20% over 3 generations. To estimate a global population trend, the estimated 3-generation population trends for each region were weighted according to the relative size of each region. The two sources make sense. The two sources of Northwest Atlantic data were used to generate 2 global trends. The overall estimated median reduction was 26.5%. I don't know why I'm saying 0.5%, with the highest probability of greater 20% reduction over 3 generations. However, this global trend is strongly influenced by the southern hemisphere trend, as this accounts for a larger proportion of the global distribution. So there's more Porbeagles in the southern hemisphere. Expert judgment elicitation was used to estimate that globally the reduction is 30 to 49% over 3 generations. Okay. Interesting. I don't really want to go into threats in detail. I do want to go into actions in detail. Like, what are we doing to help this shark? So, and we might wrap it up with positive actions. Because I don't know, it's almost 10:30 here, so let's see. The success of actions agreed through international wildlife and fisheries treaties depends on implementation at the domestic level. For sharks, such follow-up actions have to date been seriously lacking. In 2008, the Porbeagle was listed on Appendix 2 of the Convention on Migratory Species, CIMS, which reflects parties' commitments to work regionally towards conservation. The species is also covered by the CIMS Memorandum of Understanding for Migratory Sharks, which is aimed at facilitating conservation. In 2013, the Porbeagle was added to Appendix 2 of the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species CITES. So this is, I believe, like the most important one. I think CITES is kind of like, if you're on, like a shark landing on Appendix 2 of CITES is a really big deal. It does not happen too often. And I think it's just 30 species on there, so which requires CITES parties to ensure that exports be accompanied by permits based on findings that parts are sourced from legal and sustainable fisheries. Okay. In 2010, the Northeast Atlantic Fisheries Commission, NEAFC, NEAFC, adopted a ban on directed fishing for Porbeagle that has since been renewed several times. The current 2016 measures run through 2019 and applies to the NEAFC regulatory area, high seas. The Western and Central Pacific Fisheries Commission designated the Porbeagle as a key shark species in 2010, but has yet to set Porbeagle fishing limits. In 2012, the General Fisheries Commission for the Mediterranean banned retention and mandated careful release for the Porbeagle and 23 other Elazabranchs, species listed on the Barcelona Convention Annex 2. Implementation by GFCM parties, however, has been very slow. In 2015, to address depletion in the North Atlantic, this was a big one too, International Commission of the Conservation of Atlantic Tunas, ICAT, adopted a requirement for prompt, careful release of Porbeagles retrieved alive in ICAT-managed fisheries. ICAT also pledged to consider additional measures if future Porbeagle catches exceed 2014 levels. To prevent overfishing and allow recovery, it is recommended that Porbeagles be subject to regional and national catch limits based on scientific advice and/or precautionary approach, as well as improved reporting of catch data, including discards, efforts to minimize bycatch mortality, and full implementation of all commitments agreed through international treaties. Okay, so again, I think this is the fifth time I said it. I'm sorry if I sound like a broken record, but shout out to Canada because they have regional and national catch limits. So like that's something that's been popping up quite often. So more than once. So I'm just going to open this. I've never gone into this before. CITES legislation. I don't know what it's going to do. Yeah, I don't know. Studies from action from conservation evidence in detail. I haven't really seen these tabs on the website. Oh, links to FishBase. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Well, these are all dead Porbeagles for the most part. Yeah, that's not a good photo. Okay. So I think we should probably close in a little bit with some more footage from Dibrim. So again, this channel, Dibrim, is probably one of the best for shark footage ever on YouTube. So just please check them out. Please like and subscribe. I love everything that they do. So and I'm just gonna kind of let this play as we just check check the chat. But yeah, audio went fuzzy. Sorry. Is it better now? I hope it's better now. So. But anyway, I'm thinking let's let the footage run, and I don't know, Any final thoughts on the Porbeagle? Because like, oh, awesome, sweet, thank you. I'm glad the audio is better. But final thoughts on the Porbeagle? Like an open-ended question. I don't think I have. I've learned a lot tonight, but I don't know how much more I have to add. Really, like. Also, I will say it is really really cool that this is our first lamnid. You know, I think this is a nice little segue because like I feel like, you know, as much as I hate to say this, like I feel like the great white, awesome. I feel like the great white is like that has to be like an event, we have to say the great white for something really really big, and I hate to say that because it's like such a poster child classic, charismatic megafauna, but it's cool to be studying its cousin tonight and just to kind of like it's a cool entry into this family in general, like Lamnidae, with that unique feature of just like red mirabilis, yeah, chubby mako. That is all. Yeah. It is super cool. This family is super super cool. And like the fact that they can do, just that raising their body temperature relative to the seawater, like it's amazing. And I'm gonna chalk it up there with bull sharks being able to change their chemistry to handle 0 to 50 parts per thousand. Like sharks are amazing in terms of what they can do, and like I chalk this whole like the temperature raising like up there in terms of like that's a fascinating, that's like a fantastic like adaptation. And then also just like the body shape, like just this guy being like a bullet cutting through the water. So I mean, it's so cool. Yeah, like good call, Howard. Like you could tell they're unstudied. You're right, the largest species get all the attention, like for sure. This is also something I love about these study parties, because it's like we're talking about sharks just in general. Like we're talking about sharks as they are, in a sense. Sharks are an enormously biodiverse group. Like 500 species. Most of them don't look like this. You know, they usually are like, you know, these benthic, you know, kind of long, deep water animals. So, it's really cool that we're doing like each of these species. Yeah. Steven Spielberg. It's a shame because there's like there's aspects of Jaws I love, and then there's aspects that are like, oh boy, it's just yeah. I mean, actually, because it really actually had a, like that movie had actually a demonstrable negative impact. Like that movie actually like led to a lot of like trophy hunting, and it's like, yeah, sorry, but side tangent. Like it's really really cool to be able to talk about these sharks as they are, and just to pick them randomly, and in so doing, like we're kind of randomly like creating like we're like doing an interesting cool like dipstick into the biodiversity in terms of like what have we covered so far. We've got Carcharodontiforms with the bull shark, and the snaggletooth shark, and the smoothhound. We got lamniforms with the porbeagle and the sand tiger. Sand tiger stream was awesome, by the way. I love last week's stream. So, yeah, Peter Benchley, good point. Good point about like Peter Benchley kind of like starting that, you know. And then what's weird is like all of that, bizarrely enough, like kind of talking about Jaws, like in a weird. It's weird that it kind of started like Peter Benchley started like his story from the shark attacks in New Jersey, and then Jaws is set in Massachusetts, and it's like, I mean, ecologically it's my part of the world. Like it's like, sorry, it's really weird actually, you know, like but yeah, getting back to biodiversity, it's really cool that we're kind of covering so many different groups now, where we definitely have at least 3 orders because we did the dogfish. So that's squaliforms, lamniforms, and carcharodontiforms. And then with the Greenland shark, it's also squaliforms, but it's like Somniosidae is an awesome family, and like there's actually multiple types of sleeper shark, but the Greenland sleeper shark is like the biggest, I think, and the most famous. So I'm super excited for next week, but I think with that, guys, I am probably gonna wrap up this stream. But dude, cheers to Porbeagle Night. This has been an awesome discussion, and like I love everybody's contributions. And if you have music suggestions, just leave them in the comments. But and then if not, I'll just like pick something. I might pick the Sonic music. I because like I tried to do Sonic a couple streams ago. Like Roy suggested Sonic, and I tried to honor you with the Sonic, but I screwed up the audio and it was too low. So we have to get Sonic in there somewhere. I don't know if Sonic and the Sleeper Shark will work together, but someday we'll get Sonic. But if you have music suggestions, please leave a comment in the chat. And I swear we will do Sonic someday. We're gonna get Sonic in there. Just probably with a shallow water fast shark. So, but anyway, Porbeagle stream is awesome. Love talking with you guys. This is super cool. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and just cheers, and 6 shout out to Canada. Thank you for protecting the Porbeagle and studying this amazing shark. So, but have a good night, guys, and I think I will see you down the road.